Clara, the body positivity TikToker, is so much worse than I thought. Clara is a TikToker who promotes young girls to be confident in their bodies and express themselves. Seems like a nice idea at first, but when you dive a little bit deeper, it gets more and more disturbing. Before, she was very beloved, but recently she exposed herself with a video shaming girls into losing weight. But after releasing the last video, I've done a little more research on her and gone down a very disturbing rabbit hole of hatred and hypocrisy. So in this video, we'll get into it. But first, Discord server and animation channel and description link. Now let's get into it. In this video, a lot of stuff is going to happen. We will catch Clara lying multiple times, find more incredibly dangerous information in her videos, and overall continue exposing her career. Let's start off with something I found that is quite, let's just say, strange. Also, I'm going to give a heads up, weird things are going to be censored. Like, I know I'm going to get comments calling me like a sheep or whatever, but last video got taken down the first time. I had to re-upload it more censored because YouTube claimed I was promoting EDs and they rejected my appeal, so I don't want that to happen again, so it's going to be weirdly censored. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't want the video to be taken down. Or worse, striked, because last time I barely missed the strike mark, so don't want to risk that again. Sorry for all the censorship in this video. With that, let's get into it.
Hey, the music under this video is copyrighted, and I really would like to make money from this video so I can pay for college.
The music may be copyrighted, but you get the idea from the short. It was made recently, and it's clear what Clara is trying to say. You should love yourself as a girl no matter your size and insecurities. And this video at first seems awesome. One thing that caught my eye though is the part about bloating. She expresses how she isn't sad about bloating and is proud of it because it means she had a good meal. And that in itself seems like a very good thing to say. I mean, it's positive, it's awesome, but here's the part that makes zero sense. In a fairly recent video on girls and how to lose W to T, she mentions how she hates bloating because it means she's too much and she doesn't want to eat to the T the next day.
Well, I never finish my food whenever I go out. Like, there's always some food left. I don't like the feeling of being stuffed. Like, of course there are times, like, I'm not gonna say that I never like stuff myself. I never like eat to the point that I'm so full. Like, of course there are times that I have, but after that, like, intuitively my body just kind of know and not eat so much the day after. And so I guess it's kind of balanced out. Like, if one day I consume like 2,500 calories or 3,000 if I'm like really stuffing myself, the next day I just like don't think about food at all. I would still feel full from yesterday, and I probably will only have like.
See what I mean? Most people indicate stuffing with bloating. Like, when you eat a lot, your stomach kind of stands out. Like, girl, why are you lying? Once again, had to do some serious censorship because the last time YouTube took down my video for this exact clip, they sent me a clip form taken on the part and why they removed it. It was literally just me saying that eating this amount, 5 2 zeros, I'm gonna try to get around it, was bad. YouTube is super picky, so we gotta be careful, you know? Now, why would she pretend to be proud in one way and express her true feelings in another? That's clear for you. She's not who she pretends to be. There are so many more examples of her doing this, and we'll be uncovering them all. For starters, as someone who watched Clara for years, I can confirm her attitude seems to have shifted. Or perhaps she's just showing more of her true self now because she feels more comfortable and confident, I guess. When I first found her on YouTube, she was the one I went to for advice. It sounds pathetic and all, but I legitimately really looked up to her. I was kind of skinny and thought I was the ugliest person on earth. But Clara changed that for me, so let's start off this video with some positive stuff about her, because I don't want to just be like full-blown hating on her. The video I discussed in my last video on her, the one she made about girls and how to lose that extra, I can't even say it because YouTube, but you know what I mean. It only got 130,000 views, so it's safe to say a lot more girls have seen her shorts, which are a lot more body positive. So I must admit her shorts have probably uplifted a lot of people. Sure, there's some problematic ones, but the ones that aren't have probably uplifted a lot of young girls. And secondly, I think her outfits are really, really good. Like, personally, I love her style. I love her styling. I think she's really creative. Her hair is really, really pretty. Okay, now let's get to the negative stuff. I would say about 30% of her content is about her boyfriend and their healthy relationship, and the rest of her percentage is just fully about her and her securities about being and how people treat her and how she learned to be confident. And a lot of YouTube shorts people kind of make the same content, and there's nothing really wrong with this, just the problem is her shorts and her long form videos are literally the opposite of each other. In her shorts, she kind of acts like she's always been kind of ashamed of being skinny and always been hated for it, and it's like this thing she kind of naturally has. It's a kind of something she can't really control, and she deserves to be confident in it. But then in long form, she promotes girls to not
think that is healthy. All that snacking, all that like eating when you're not hungry, it's just extra calorie. And of course, when you keep doing that, you're gonna And I think that when I only eat when I'm like truly hungry, it gives me so much satisfaction.
And avoid eating much, avoid snacks at all, and only eat if they're really, really hungry or they'll gain weight. She acts like it's like an accomplishment. So it's like, which one is it? Are you a victim or are you like the thing everyone wants to reach? It just doesn't make sense. She's clearly like faking something and lying about something. And here is a hilariously ironic short of her telling girls jokingly to get skinny under a week and then telling them, oh, you don't need to worry about that. You should love yourself. But then she literally has a long form video with like 70 ways to get skinny, which include eating, not snacks. Like, woman, which one is it? Why are you like, do you think no one's gonna catch on? And the main criticism I got from my last video was, one, people didn't really like that I criticized her. They said I was being too rude. A lot of people's main argument against me was that she has a ED and I'm just being a jerk calling her out. And this is my main response to that argument. Her entire content is body positivity content. Sure, if I was making fun of some random person with an ED, that would make sense. And yes, it's very, very possible and highly likely she does have one. But she literally makes thousands of dollars a month off of body positivity content. So it's just like, an ED really isn't an excuse to be like doing this when your entire career is built off of telling girls to be confident no matter what. But then you decide it only matters if you're skinny. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
I'm flat-chested, and as you can see, if you picture my chest like an LCD TV screen or an ironing board, that's basically how my chest looks like.
Like, she isn't 100% evil. Like, she is able to joke about things that she used to be insecure about. But I just don't understand why she wants to put others down when literally her career is built off of body positivity content. And sadly, the more I've looked through her videos, the more I've discovered that most of her positivity, so-called content, is just putting people that have larger bodies down. Like, the majority of the time, it's just insulting people that are bigger than her. It's like, you think I'm skinny and ugly? Well, haha, you're actually really ugly. A bunch of her content is looking on the positive side of being flat-chested, and that is basically talking about how much better it is to be flat-chested than to have a chest. She basically talks about how it's easier to sleep, it's lighter, and like, yeah, I get it, there's benefits, but like, you're kind of putting down people with bigger chests. Don't get me wrong, you can be insecure either way, but like, you don't have to put down other people to put yourself up.
So I'm breaking out. Please give me chocolate and then get out. I'm so freaking bloated, I feel like a cow. And my cramps might kill me out.
And even in her shorts, sometimes she lets her real feelings slip. This is her kind of joking about periods using a sound, but she basically calls herself a large animal because she's bloated. So it's clear she doesn't actually see bloated as happy and being full and it's all cool and stuff, because in here it's clearly an insecurity. And she's showing this to young girls. Hey, when my stomach's sticking out after I eat, I look ugly, so maybe don't eat as much. It's just like, it's a dangerous message being spread to millions of people every single day. And I'm not saying I feel this way, I'm just coming up with the first example in my mind. I remember some people on Twitter and stuff accused Taylor Swift of using feminism to basically get her way, or if people disagree with her, she just accused them of being sexist. Just something I've heard, don't agree with it, I don't really care. But this made me think of Clara. She seems to be using the body positivity movement to, she like doesn't actually care about the movement. She just wants to use it to scare away like the haters, the people that, yes, people shouldn't be making comments about her body, but like, she clearly doesn't actually care about it, because if she did, she'd try to make girls feel confident no matter what, but she clearly only cares about the part that benefits her personally. Most of her TikToks consist of her being annoyed that people shame her for not eating enough. And yes, of course, you should shut your mouth when someone else is eating and never mention or annoy them about it. But at the same time, sadly, this could be her response to people telling her she may have an ED. Don't get me wrong, I know it's none of my business, but she makes body positivity content at the end of the day, and when she's releasing videos telling girls to drop it fast, I feel like that kind of becomes people's business, because, you know, she's kind of starting to promote it and it's getting kind of strange. I mean, think of it. That's something you get annoyed with if you had an ED. You wouldn't want people to tell you to stop, because, I mean, yes, you shouldn't be shamed for it, but her entire image online is based off the idea that she's kind of, the amount of weight she has, she can't control. But the habits she lists in the video don't seem like natural. They're all very, very strange and unusual habits. So those kind of give you the idea that she may have an ED. And to be fair, in the last video, I didn't really go over that concept as much. I didn't really consider it as much as I did now going through it again. So I admit I was a little bit harsh in the last video. I did call her maybe evil a few times. I feel bad for that. My apologies. It doesn't excuse her videos, but it does kind of give us more background if this is sadly true, which I really hope it isn't. Because as someone who can relate, if she does have one, it's a very disturbing, troubling, and hard to escape reality that it's an awful experience, and I really, really hope she does get better if it's true. I in no way agree with any of the videos she's made on girls losing their you know what, but like it does give, once again, kind of a more background, and it's a little bit troubling, and it really shows how much it can warp your mind and change your perception and just make you kind of a hypocrite. But maybe she doesn't realize that she's going to cause more of this problem. An ED, her video is going to cause that. I can't really show too much of it because it's risky, but if you literally go to her channel and watch it, like, that is exactly what leads you down the rabbit hole that is hard to escape from. The idea that you will gain weight and that gaining weight is the worst thing on earth. And don't get me wrong, once again, there are so many shorts of her that have made me feel so much better about myself, but it's just like, at the end of the day, the stuff she truly seems to care about is just not safe to consume as a kid or a girl. And yes, I know that the video says only for adults, but let's be honest, 90% of her audience is obviously kids.
Oh my god.
This clip especially just makes me so sad because I can relate. Like, it feels great to grow on YouTube, but it's just like she's lost her old self. Like, you know that Kanye song, I Miss the Old Kanye? That's literally I Miss the Old Clara. Like, what happened to her? The one that cared about everyone, the one that wasn't a hypocrite. What happened? It just doesn't make sense to me anymore. Is it like she finally got confident enough that she decided she was better than everyone? The older I get, man, the worse all the YouTubers I used to look up to get. This is so, like, sad. I hate making this video because she was genuinely, like, the sweetest YouTuber. Was she just hiding it all along? Maybe she was like this all along. I don't know. At the end of the day, this is just a really, really sad situation, and it gets worse.
Like, of course there are times that I have, but after that, like, intuitively, my body just kind of know and not eat so much the day after. And so I guess it's kind of balanced out. Like, if one day I consume like 2,500 calories or 3,000, if I'm like really stuffing myself.
She claims that eating 2,500 calories or 3,000 is stuffing herself. Like, no, it's not. That's literally the average amount of calories a person should have to function.
This is my dress of 2021. Like, I lost count of how many times I wear this dress in 2021. I was obsessed with this dress when I first got it. I love it so much that I got 2 other colors of this dress, but red still remains my favorite out of them all.
Here is a video where she basically shows different ideas for girls who are not exactly large. And I can already see the argument that maybe she's just for the skinny girls. Like, she's not made for larger people. Larger people shouldn't be watching her. And here's how I'm going to address that opinion, because I can already see it in my comment section. No matter what type of person watches her content, what she's saying is dangerous. Anyone can develop an ED, anyone, any size. It's a mindset thing. It's not actually a physical thing. What I mean to say is it's a mental disorder. Like, it's something you get in your head and then you realize or think you, like, are in this world where you think you have to continue to lose weight, lose weight, lose weight. And you can be any size and experience this. That's one of her most viral videos, and the craziest part is she really doing that? Like, at the end of the day, is that really what she's trying to do, or is she really just making it a place where she can kind of, like, complain about how she gets comments about her body, which, don't get me wrong, no one should make, but at the end of the day, it seems like she doesn't actually care about the movement. All she cares about is herself.
Extra calorie, and of course, when you keep doing that, you're gonna gain weight. I love food, and I have a very healthy relationship with food. I don't restrict myself when it comes to eating. I eat very intuitively. You guys' portions are crazy. You guys' portions are like nearly 3-4 times bigger than like Asian portion. Or like whenever I go out to a restaurant, I'm like,
Okay, obviously that's not the audio, but the audio was likely copyrighted. But you get the idea of this video that she has. She's basically saying that being on your phone is bad, and she's got one thing right. You should get off your phone right now if you're watching that clip, because you should not be on her channel. And here's another video that I found strange that seems good at first. She's basically saying, I also have stomach rolls. I'm like you guys, it's okay. But in reality, she's kind of just saying, like, we all have flaws. We all have, like, fat at the end of the day. Like, once you think about it, she's saying that having belly rolls is a flaw. And it's like, then what is, if you think that's a flaw for yourself, then what does that make other people that aren't as skinny as you?
extra calorie. And of course, when you keep doing that, you're gonna gain weight. I love food and I have a very healthy relationship with food. I don't restrict myself when it comes to eating. I eat very intuitively. You guys' portions are crazy. You guys' portions are like nearly 3-4 times bigger than like Asian portion. Or like whenever I go out to a restaurant, I'm like, oh my god, like the plate is this big and like the food is like this much on the plate, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is enough for 4 people. This is enough for like at least.
And this is simply just an observation, but I've noticed ever since she started making content with her boyfriend, she's worn more makeup and stuff, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with wearing more makeup, and she's changed her hair and stuff, but it just seems like lots of things have changed about her, and overall her style, personality, and pretty much everything has changed. And don't get me wrong, people change all the time, but this just seems like a negative change for her. Her personality just isn't the same as it used to be. It's not accepting like it used to be. Sorry, sometimes these videos get so depressing, I just gotta turn on the cute bird compilation because, man, this just makes me so sad. And a smaller YouTuber did make a video on her, as I mentioned in my former video, and that YouTuber did discuss how she makes videos kind of mocking the abuse of men in relationships and kind of talking about, like, ignoring them. So she's kind of a hypocrite in multiple areas, not just body positivity, but also in respecting each other in relationships thing. It's just, she just isn't who she pretends to be, to put it simply.
Take a look around. Do you see her anywhere?
Safe to say the old one isn't coming back, but you can tell most of the videos where she does kind of push the borders and let's just say shame women, she has red hair. So it's pretty recent content. Sure, some of her older content can be questionable, but the majority of it is recent content, so the question is, what really changed with her? My first thought would be puberty or something, but she's way too old for that, so what was it? Is she trying some new workout routine? Like, did she do something different? Did she have a life-changing event? What happened? Because this is such like a flip that just, it changes everything about her, and I'm curious on why she changed. Some people say it's her boyfriend, but I will never probably really know what made her change, but the fact of the matter is, she's no longer a body positivity TikToker. And kind of going back to what I said before, people change at the end of the day. YouTubers aren't always who they used to be. Like, I could give the example of Mr. Beast. I used to watch him when I was like 11, 12. I loved his content. It was like the fact that he just did it with his friends and they all like loved it so much. They were all so close, just made it so special. But as he became more and more popular, his content became more like a brand and less like a friendship or a passion. It just became less authentic, and that kind of ruined the watching experience for me. Sure, it's aimed towards more of kids and I was growing up, so that took a factor into it, but he just wasn't the same person, and he never will be the same person that he used to be. And sometimes that's just what you got to accept with people. Instead of going to their comment sections and commenting tons and tons of hate about how you want them to end it and other stuff, you just gotta stop watching them, move on, and find someone else, because that's the way with influencers. They're not your friends. You don't know them. You don't know when they'll change their mind on things, and you don't know what they really truly think deep down inside. Everyone puts on a personality for the camera, and overall you never know what they're really like in real life.
Walk in, you see the lake right away. I am absolutely in love with this view. Today's weather is beautiful. I love the open space we have here. So we have the lake on the right side, and if you come to the window, you can also see CN Tower.
I believe that Clara is a full-time influencer, but she could have something on the side. I'm not sure 100%. And of course, influencer leads to many other ways to make money. I don't really know what else, like Patreon and stuff. So it's safe to say she's gotten a lot of opportunities and a lot of monies from this career path she's taken. And overall, you can see with her videos that she's been able to get a cool apartment. She's been able to get so many cool things from this. So overall, it's just, she's gotten tons of awards, and maybe that changed her, maybe the money, maybe the running out of content ideas, but overall, it's just sad to see her change. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. You have no idea how much editing this video took. I'm gonna lose my mind. Hopefully it does pretty well. If it does, maybe I'll make another follow-up sometime, or if she responds, discuss that, but it's likely I'll just move on to a different topic. My animation channel is also open at Coco Animated. I'm planning on releasing a big project this summer. If you don't want to miss it, feel free to subscribe. I really appreciate it. It's going to be in the channel description. Sorry if my voice sounds stupid. It's kind of late, and I don't know, I'm kind of tired and grumpy because apparently some dumb kids said that I dressed like a homeless person when I was literally wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt. Some people just care too much about dumb things.
It's honestly so crazy to me because just last year I just got the silver button, and I'm gonna show it here. Just last year I got this silver button. I'm gonna show you a comparison of like the size.